I'm here with Dave Gross. He is the president and CEO of Collision Control Communications. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
It's nice to meet you.
Now, I want to talk about the Eliminator. Not only are you going to tell us how it works, but you're the actual inventor of it.
Yes, I invented and patented this technology in the late 90s and written many subsequent patents in the meantime. And it was a kind of a career path change for me. I originally was going to medical school, wanted to be a thoracic surgeon, ended up being a disc jockey on the radio for the last 40 or 50 years, and recently left that profession when I invented this device that actually you may be familiar with, turns traffic lights green for police cars, fire trucks, and ambulances. It does so using FM radio and GPS hybridization. So the net effect of it is the traffic signal constantly monitors the approach of the emergency vehicle, knows what time you're going to arrive at the intersection, and turns green far enough in advance. The goal being not to turn green when you arrive, the goal being to turn green far enough before you arrive that pedestrians have had time to safely cross, and other traffic that may have been stopped in your direction of travel to successfully flush through the intersection. By the time you arrive, you hopefully don't have to hit your brakes, and it can save anywhere from 20 to 25% on the average emergency vehicle run. So, as you can imagine, getting water on a fire 2 minutes faster if you're a fire truck can be life-saving. Same with an ambulance. Heart attack patients, it's been estimated, have a 10% additional chance of survival for every minute that they can get to the hospital emergency room quicker or get medical intervention quicker.
I think this is really inspiring work that you're doing. What has the response been?
It's been overwhelming, basically because of the statistical data we've been able to compile. So if you can save about 25% on the average run time, that's life-saving in the terms of an ambulance run or even a fire truck run. So that alone can oftentimes pay for itself. Also, fire stations are able to serve a greater surface area with a quicker response time. So some cities have found that they can actually serve their municipality with, as they expand, without having to build new fire stations, just adding our technology, because they can branch out and serve roughly 7.5 square miles with the Eliminator versus 5.6 square miles without the Eliminator.
Where do you see this going in 5 to 10 years?
Well, I tell you, it's really difficult, and that's a really good question, because 5 to 10 years ago, I never would have thought GPS would have been cost affordable and effective. But fortunately, when I wrote my first patents for the technology, we incorporated GPS into the patents. Some of the newer patents that we are working on now that I can talk to you about involve basically the use of statistical data. So I'll give you an example. If you're driving an ambulance, specifically ambulance number 4, you travel north on 1st Street and you normally hang a left on B Street to get to the hospital. Well, if you do that run enough times and the traffic signal has the ability to hold a large amount of statistical data, as you're approaching it, it knows you're ambulance 4 and it says 90% of the time over the past 5 years that ambulance 4 has come to this intersection, they've turned left to go to the hospital. So what the traffic light will then do is say 90% of the time they're going to turn left. So before I even get to that intersection, it tells the next intersection he's getting ready to turn left, or there's a high degree of probability he's going to turn left. And so this traffic light will tell that traffic light, and it will already start turning green before you even make the turn.
Wow, that's amazing. How important is it to be here at ITS World Congress?
I think it's very important. The main reason being it exposes this technology to a plethora of individuals who may not have even heard of it, number one, or may not even know it exists. Many technologies will preempt traffic signals, but ours has an additional feature that I haven't discussed, which is collision avoidance. That being, if you're on an impending collision course with another emergency vehicle, it'll warn you of that impending collision up to a mile before it occurs, based on algorithms that calculate what time you're scheduled to cross paths. And if you're, say, for example, within 5 seconds of reaching the same point in space at the same time as in their vehicle, it warns both drivers of each emergency vehicle back and says, you have a 90% probability of a collision with ambulance 5 at this intersection, so be aware. And so you can see potential problems before you can visually see them. The system calculates that and displays those for you as well. So it's all this technology integrated into a single, very simple to use platform. That's virtually hands-free. The driver has to do nothing. It automatically engages and disengages based on the parameters that are set.
Great. Well, Dave Gross, thank you so much for sitting down and explaining this to us. I think you're doing amazing work. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.